Everybody to the SFR GT Challenge GTC3 division. It's round 7 at what some like to call the Green Hell of Australia. I'm with my partner PX7 Rodrigo. As always, how you doing today, bud?
Very, very well, and I think we're prepared to see a great race at Mount Panorama, a pretty tough track that can catch out even the best of drivers. So I think that the drivers will have to 100% be at the top of their game on this track, and I think that we'll see some of them nail it, and the ones who do so will be coming out on top.
Yeah, it's quite frankly a matter of the survival is what gets you around this track, and it is a very iconic track. It's been on the schedule for the third season now, SFR, and I tell you what, it's not my favorite track. I do love the track. I have a love-hate relationship with this track. So sometimes you walk away loving it, and sometimes you walk away in pit lane and watching the rest of your competitors go by.
Indeed.
Before we get
But
going, I also like to wish everybody out there happy Labor Day weekend. It's a holiday weekend for us in the States, and for SFR, we will be off until September 13th when we rejoin at Red Bull Ring for GTC1. But before we kick things off here, again, most of the car changes have been made. They have until the beginning of round 9 to make their car change selections if they so choose. But let's run through the standings real quick. TPR and Chio, as we know and mentioned before in prior rounds, he has moved up to GTC2. So what that leaves is RR1 Wing is in first place. BDRT J-Rod in second place. RR Magic Man in third place. BDRT Twilight in fourth. BDRT Death Scythe in fifth. RR Anubis in sixth. TPRT MDes in seventh. RWBV Francisco, who's missed some rounds, is in eighth. And TPR Alley GP in ninth. Joey Cannoli from RWB, a new team, Red, White, and Blue Racing, in 11th. And RR Early Mac in 12th, Big Red in 13th, and C Winkle from RWB in 14th, or 13th rather, I'm sorry. Little Mac in 14th, and Inferno from Rockefeller in 15th, who rounds it out. Now, it is worth to mention that guys, drivers like Little Mac, Inferno, Magic Man, they have been missing from some rounds here. So with Chio gone, Rodrigo, it really is anybody's game here from here on out. It really, anybody could win this championship in this division. It is pretty much up for grabs. So these races from here out to the final are going to be quite crucial here.
Indeed, they will, and I think that we'll see a quite close title fight. And of course, as you said, there's no one that's really clear from the field, and there's no one that's clearly faster than the other. So it'll be pretty intense until the end. Hopefully, we can cover it as best as we can, and we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, and without further ado, we hope you're having, like I said, a great holiday weekend. But what better way to kick off your Friday night? Get the popcorn ready with some GTC3 action from SFR GT Challenge. So we're going to start right now. And engines rev. We have Magic Man on pole, One Wing, RWV Francisco, Early Mac with a great qualifying. Joey Cannoli also in 5th, Little Mac in 6th, Death Scythe in 7th.
And they're off.
There we go.
Like a hiding car from the race leader. Too wide for RR into turn 1. One Wing seems to back off early as Francisco tries to take advantage. Almost free wide right there. And RR keep their 1-2. They looked a bit cautious in turn 1, which is good. They are teammates. They held the top 2 spot for now. So yeah, they will try to build on from that qualifying. First place is Little Mac for RWB, for Francisco, and 5th Joey Cannoli. So RR, then RWB, then BDRT on that order.
As they come up, they had to give each other space into T2 there, which they did a really good job of.
Little Mac with a little bit of contact into the wall, but seems to carry on without any of the damage. The damage is on light, so it can affect you. Francisco in fourth. I think it's been quite a good start from everyone so far. No incidents yet, but now as we come down the hill, probably the toughest section of the track, you've gone all the way up the mountain, now all the way down the hill. Here we go. Right, then left, then you brake heavily, and Joey Canoli has run wide and he spun, and he got hit by some BDRT drivers, M-Days, Death Side. That's horrible for the red, white, and blue driver as he tries to turn it back around.
Yeah, he's going to get going again. Oh, yeah, Death Scythe got caught up in it too. Wow.
Yeah, Death Scythe a complete passenger on this. Quite unfortunate for him, but yeah, Joey Canoli getting caught out on probably the toughest section of the track in my opinion, and these things unfortunately happen in racing, and it has happened, and it has probably messed up these guys' chances of trying to contest for a win or for the podium, so that's unfortunate for them.
That's really tough as One Wing runs wide, bounces off the barrier at a T1. He was following his teammate into the last sector. That gives it to Little Mac and Francisco now for RWB.
And it's slightly wide. There are no runoffs on this track, as you can see, barely any, so it's pretty easy to go into the grass. Just loses 2 positions though, so yeah, better have that happen to you at the beginning of the race rather than on the final few laps. You can still recover from that mistake.
And Mac made up some positions because he started in 4th and got jumped off the line after that Canoli incident that collected Death Scythe and some others. So Magic Man looks like to be the biggest beneficiary. Also Mac and Francisco, who were nowhere near that, they wound up getting out of that, and so did One Wing. So they all have to be very fortunate and thanking their lucky stars. As a matter of fact, Rodrigo, that could have been a debatable red flag situation, but it wasn't. So on we go, and hopefully Death Scythe and Canoli can collect themselves.
Yeah, well and truly only two cars affected, maybe even 3, so I don't know if that was enough to call a red flag. Maybe it was, but we've carried on, so it probably wasn't.
Let's give a tire update here. Magic Man in the lead is on mediums. Little Mac is on mediums. His teammate Francisco is on softs, so you would think that Little Mac came here and let Francisco by if Francisco can get a good enough run on him. One Wing is on mediums. Twilight on mediums. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Yeah, sorry, I should have let you speak, but right now Francisco doesn't look like he has much pace. Maybe as the car gets lighter, as the fuel gets lighter, he'll find his feet a little bit and catch up to his teammate, because he has to make the most out of the soft tires at the moment.
Yes, as you mentioned that, he was getting a little squirrely out of the last sectors there, and he will seem to make up pace, you'd figure, on the straightaway here as he runs the fastest lap of the race, ironically enough, right there so far. And now he's on the back bumper here of his teammate.
Looks like he's on the flip rim of Little Mac at the moment, so that's good for him. He'll be looking to push and maybe challenge Magic Man a little, because he must catch Magic Man to help his teammate out here. Little Mac seems to be holding out quite alright, following the race leader, who also won the previous race, so he's on fire at the moment, and he seems that he can't be stopped at the moment.
Oh, Mac getting a little sideways there. I think they were going to try and let each other by, but they just, I mean, when you get to this, you know it better than anyone, Rodrigo. When you get to the Skyline section of Bathurst, you're just a follow the leader passenger. He's flashing them to get out of his way, but there's really nothing Little Mac can do right now.
Francisco makes a little mistake. Yeah, this section, as we go through Skyline, actually right now, this section is pretty much a single file throughout. It's not it's risky to overtake, as Francisco gets loose and hits the wall for the SS and gets into One Wing's way. Try to rejoin as best as he could. You get grass on your tires when you leave the track, you get loose, so He's made it back ahead of one wing just about as we go through the deeper and forest elbow as he hits the wall again.
One wing got a better run, and that Ford has
Yeah.
top end speed. So will Francisco try and make another move?
Well, you get the feeling that the Ford GT will win the straight line battle there against the Audi, but Francisco has got the toe as we head into the chase, corners 20, 21, and 22.
Also,
he tried a move on the inside. He tried to dummy it, and he hits him a little bit, but he waits behind. Good sportsmanship right there, and one wing takes back third place.
Also behind, we had a nice battle between J-Rod and Early Mac. So we have a lot going on the track right now. So like we said, everybody besides Francisco from 1 through 6 is on the mediums. Francisco's on the softs. Let's continue on and get you an update. J-Rod's on the mediums, taking really good care of those tires in 7th. MDez is on the hard, so something to consider here. Also, Anubis on the hards, and he's got Death Scythe on the softs now. Without any more damage, Death Scythe is going to guaranteed get the overtake here. Cannoli on the mediums, and Inferno on the hards. Death Scythe.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting as Death Scythe and I think it's there we go. Anubis go side by side now. Death Scythe is gonna be hard to pass there, but he makes it stick with the much softer tires than the hards, of course. So,
good job.
Good move, but yeah, pretty interesting race situation for some right now, as some have elected the extra, like the hardest tire to start with, and they'll be ending, or they'll be a stronger further into the race. I'm interested to see what MD can do, the top runner on the hards at the moment, because he got a bit caught up on that pile up with I think it was Joey Cannoli, but he's surely a quick driver, and I think that he does well enough to put on fast lap times on those hards at the moment. He can definitely throw a spanner into the works in this race.
And we're on board with Mac right now, who got a decent exit out of the elbow and following Twilight in the Vet, Mac in the M6 right now. As you can see the traffic up above, and one wing pulled Francisco a little bit, so Francisco really needs to make that ground up on the softs, but that Vet's got some top end speed. The slipstream is working. Mac's got to lock him up and go inside.
A bit of a dive bomb, but he doesn't make it stick. Yeah, that was close. I think Mac misjudged it a little bit, but thankfully he doesn't hit him through the chase. That's a pretty fast of the track, and yeah, they both carry on.
Good job, yes. So in 4th place, Francisco on the softs, so he did lose out coming down the downhill section. He looks like he's overdriving just a bit. He needs to calm down. That Audi is no easy beast to tame, but he did yield the position to one wing, because one wing got a better exit. One wing's pulling away, and one wing is actually looking to see what he could do on Little Mac, as we have Magic Man about 4 to 5 seconds up the road already. So Magic Man doing his thing right now, and was the pole setter.
Driving. Yeah, he didn't look that strong on previous races, I guess, or I think he joined right around Span. He finished second behind PPRT Chio, who's now been promoted to GTC3. So yeah, a battle with J-Rod, but now he's just looking clear of everyone, like and some incredible driving. And I would like to get back to someone right now, and that's MDes. I had mentioned that he was looking quite strong on the hard tires, even getting caught up on that pile up. He was putting on some strong last time, but yeah, he has gone for the chase. And that's a commentator first, I guess. So I'm sorry about that.
Sorry, MDes. It's not over yet, though. It's a long race. He'll be pitting this lap for sure.
Yeah, to get rid of those hard tires, but he's lost a great amount of time for sure.
And it's so hard, you know, it's also so hard going through the mountain with the dirty air. It really does call you out. It's very hard to control your car, especially on cold, hard tires that just start to heat up around lap 4 or 5. So he's got Joey Cannoli in front of him. As Cannoli gets a good exit out of the elbow, we'll see what happens there. Anubis is the leader of the hard tire pack now, who should be coming in.
Little Mac on the mediums, already getting rid of those tires. Magic Man going for 6 laps on the mediums instead, but yeah, Little Mac getting rid of those of those. Yeah, both Max actually.
Yeah.
Going into the pit lane on lap 5 with their mediums, and I assume that they are both switching to the softs now to try a good undercut.
Look at that. Look at that. Little Mac came out right behind Twilight on the softs. Very quick delta here at Bathurst.
Yeah, Little Mac on the softs, indeed. So he'll be looking to make an undercut on Magic Man, I guess. I think that 5 seconds are a bit too much to make an undercut, but we'll see. He's now being held up by Twilight, and yeah, as I was saying, we'll see what happens because this is no easy track to overtake.
Yeah, and he's got to really hope that as he warms up his soft tires right now, that Twilight enters the pits this lap.
Yeah, Twilight. Let me see which tire. He's on the medium tire, so I guess he should be entering the pits this lap. So yeah, Little Mac just gotta be patient and wait until the big straightaway, and maybe he can have overtake with toe. And as I say that, he makes a mistake. So yet again, the commentator scores in full swing today, as he won't be able to overtake Twilight this lap.
Let's see what Francisco could do on these softs on board. Getting loose out of the elbow, it's so important to get a good exit. But that Ford, as one wing is in, is just a monster on the straights, but that will come back to bite him with fuel if he's not too careful. So something you have to take into consideration, as Francisco's down 4/10 on his fastest lap. Not too bad with the softs here. You would think he would run a little longer. One wing running a bit wide. Good exit though from Francisco. Let's see what happens here. Will the front runner run in?
One wing is in with the mediums. Magic Man 2, and I think the majority of the medium runners, also Twilight, are in. So yeah, getting rid of those tires, not the best straight tire, of course, and they'll probably be putting on, well, of course, they'll be putting on either the hard or something.
Magic Man's able to keep the lead over Francisco and Mac, so now he's got the hard tires on. This is their opportunity for Francisco and Mac to make up some pace here, as Mac... One wing went on the hards as well, too. Yeah, I'm sorry, go ahead.
At the moment, it even looked like Magic Man has even stretched that gap a little, as Little Mac makes some mistakes on his lap behind.
Ooh, Francisco getting into the wall, too.
Yeah, Francisco nursing those, well, not really nursing, he's giving them a proper beating, those tires with a drift of the soft tires. The Audi, then again, is not easy machine to handle, and I don't think it's good that he's staying out this long on the soft tires as he makes another mistake. So
and he's got his teammate now.
What he does. I think he should be pitting pretty soon.
Yeah, you would think he's going to pit this lap, and it's only going to be beneficial for Little Mac to actually have to pass him out of the elbow down the straight, because if he doesn't, then one wing once again. Oh
no, this is terrible for Red, White, and Blue Racing. As Francisco keeps on getting loose through the corners on worn out softs, and then again that Audi is no easy machine to handle, and then of course with worn out tires he's not gonna be able to control it too well. But now he's signaled his teammates, he's going to the left, and doesn't lift off the throttle, doesn't make it too easy for him, but now Little Mac is through and he can go out there to chase Magic.
Yeah, and if Francisco does not pit right now, his job will be to hold up one wing. Although one wing is on the hard, so is Magic Man. What will Francisco do? Will he peel off? Yeah, he's got to come in.
Yeah, that's the good decision. As has pit lane lines a little bit, but I'll leave that to the stewards. He's in, and he had those soft tires have taken quite a beating, so that's a good decision, and we'll see where he comes out in. He's taking fuel. Okay.
Yeah, splash and dash there.
Yeah,
and he gets jumped by the BDRT drivers, and will Early Mac be able to do? What is Mac on? Early Mac is on the hard, so I believe all the Rockefeller Racing drivers are on the same strategy except for Anubis. We'll have to see what Anubis does, but Early Mac needs to stay in the slipstream if he can to Francisco, and Francisco just needs to calm down a bit and not overdrive the car. Let's get an update through the field, as Death Scythe is making a pretty nice recovery now on the hards in 8th place, so he's doing pretty well there. Joey Canoli on the mediums. Looks like he is running those medium stints for. He's gone 8 laps now, and he has not come in yet. So he's done 3 laps more than the minimum of the mandatory. So interesting strategy from Joey Canoli here. He's probably trying to cut out a pit stop, which isn't a horrible idea, especially after his accident. But at Bathurst, it's a really quick stop, so I'm not sure how that will pay off from him. It's a shame because he did qualify very well, but again, a long way to go. Mdez now has the mediums on, and he's got Anubish chasing him also on the medium, so we got a battle here going on now as well. Let's see how Mdez can take this downhill section here. He's got to get... This is where he'll have an advantage over the Viper because he needs to, as that Viper will have top end straight.
Yeah, worth mentioning that Anubis, well, he sent on the same strategy as his teammates indeed. He started on the hard, so we could say he did the opposite to his teammates, so yeah, now he's on the medium, so he's already got rid of the hard. That's not a bad strategy, and especially if you're starting and further down the field, you want those tires out of the way quickly, and maybe he'll look to be making his positions and later in the race.
And Mdez did exactly what he needed to do. As you see there, the Viper has tremendous top-end speed, but just not close enough to pull him in the draft. Inferno is also on the medium, so they went the same strategy. And Big Red on the hards right now in that Ford GT coming out of the elbow. So if we get back, we know what everybody's tire strategy's on. We go back to the race lead, and Magic Man is coming up into the mountain to start it off again. And Little Mac has made up some pace on him, though. As Magic is on the hards, Little Mac is closing in.
Yeah, I think that...
One Wing on the hards as well.
Yeah, Little Mac doing what he needs to do, gaining and gaining and gaining on Magic Man. As say that, and he hits the wall. So yet again, the commentator scores. Every time so far, actually every time so far I've complimented a driver during this race, he's done a mistake right as I said that. So.
Yeah, we're batting 1,000. I was just gonna say that we're on pace for the Hall of Fame of broadcasters.
Yeah. So yeah, but Little Mac is gaining some time on Magic Man. I think it's a bit logical that he's doing so since he's in the softs, and I think that Magic Man is driving a pretty good race at the moment. So yeah, Little Mac is going to need something a bit more special when he switches to the hard to try and beat Magic Man right now. But yeah, he's closing right now on the softs as we do.
And Magic Man, and well, Little Mac is taking care of his tires here pretty well. Magic Man pitted on lap 6, so he's not going to be able to pit until lap 11. So that might give Mac a chance to actually get in front of him. And as we check that out, as this is getting close here, 3rd place we have One Wing we know on the hards, and 4th place we have the BDRT drivers between 4th and 5th. Now J-Rod overtook Twilight there, as Twilight's on the hards, J-Rod's on the mediums, and Death Scythe we know was on the hards.
Yeah, I'm not sure J-Rod has pitted yet, which is a bit strange. It doesn't look from his lap time, from his delta, that he has pitted, so, and his medium tires look a bit worn out, so I guess he hasn't pitted yet. He's doing a completely different strategy than everyone else. So
you know, Rodrigo, I hate to say this as J-Rod purples, which is a good sign, but this is 2 rounds in a row now. We've seen a bit of an offbeat strategy for J-Rod. It did wind up working out at Fuji last round because he in essence really was 4th, but he gave it to his teammate Twilight, who worked so hard for that podium position there. But you know, J-Rod does have the pace to keep up with all these drivers here. I just don't understand what the strategy call is here right now.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I mean that on GT Sport, of course, the game we're playing, it might be a bit unrealistic, but the pit delta is incredibly short at Mount Panorama. So you'll actually be looking to be on the like do the least amount of laps possible, and maybe even more stops as you gain time on those fresh tires. So right now I don't personally understand the strategy, but we are all up for a surprise always, and if he can pull this say outsider strategy and get a good position in the end, then we'll love to see it.
And now Francisco is going to need to do what he can to chase down on the mediums, to chase down Twilight, as J-Rod is pulling away from Twilight, who's on the hards, and you have Mac on the hards as well. So Mac doing a pretty good job there on the hards as well. And Death Scythe, we know, Death Scythe is on the hards now as well. So let's see what J-Rod does here. Will J-Rod come into the pits and get off those mediums? He will. 10 laps.
Yeah, a bit too long probably for everyone's liking. He's running a completely different strategy to his teammates, which is strange because we usually see teams practicing together and planning out their strategy together and actually run the same strategy. But yeah, we'll see how he works it out. He probably has his own plan, so yeah, we're about to find out if this will work or not.
Well, he got in front of his teammate who's on the hards, and now J-Rod does go to the hards. So he did go mediums to hards, but the issue with that, as you see, Mac is behind him now out of the pits on the softs, and early Mac for Rockefeller has gotten both his compounds out of the way early, and he's got Death Scythe crawling up his tailpipe now. Let's see what Death Scythe can do on Mac here, as Magic is just pulling away here from a little Mac already, even on the hard. So Mac couldn't really overtake yet. He's getting closer, but let's see here. Death Scythe. Yes, Death Scythe is going to get off those hards, and early Mac is now on J-Rod. So you would expect early Mac to get a run on J-Rod on those hards, which has put J-Rod in a really bad situation here, pitting on lap 10. We have so much going on right now between this position, and there you go. Little Mac has overtaken Magic in the elbow, as Magic Man is now in second place, so the lead has changed for the first time this race.
Yeah, Little Mac having so much more pace on the softer compound and getting a good run through the S down the elbow, so that's a good move. Magic Man, I think, will be hitting this lap, so
yeah,
now he's gonna be able to go on the softs till the end, so he's gonna be the one getting the undercut on Little Mac now, who personally I don't think he made the most out of his soft stint, getting held up at the start and then couldn't lost a lot of time when he was getting an undercut on Magic Man, but yeah, right now he's in the lead, so he's doing a good job indeed, and I think that if he can keep it up, I don't think he will beat Magic Man, to be honest, but I think that he can challenge for a podium.
Yeah, for sure he's in that range. But what happened is Magic Man already got the racing mediums and the racing hards out of the way. Max still needs to do the racing hards, which is going to hurt him. Now you have Francisco on the mediums, but One Wing is on the same strategy as Magic Man. And One Wing has a lot less fuel than Magic Man, if you could believe that, in the vet, which does eat a lot of fuel. But that Ford will eat a lot of fuel as well. As Francisco gets sideways into the wall.
Yeah, Francisco yet again clips the white line on the outside through the run up the hill. And One Wing looked like he was going to try and move on the outside, but backed off and let Francisco have it. Good choice. He's on the softs, but he's not gonna get impatient here. He's just gonna take it easy and stick behind this loose Audi of Francisco's. But
or
go downhill through the SS.
On board with One Wing here. Very tough sector. He's got to clip the wall. That's gonna happen if you don't have scars on your car. Twilight. You're not doing it right.
Here comes Twilight and good pass through the deeper and then through the forest elbow. Gets it done on the braking, but One Wing's not done yet. One Wing's won his position back and he's side by side. We've got two American muscle power cars down the straight through the combat straight. Here we go, side by side, and they're gonna be heading side by side into the chase. Twilight has half a car length ahead, but Twilight has backed off instead. Okay, that's interesting.
Smart move there. I personally believe as Twilight might be looking to play his cards right.
And no! One Wing has lost it through the chase.
And
Turn 22.
We're still batting 1,000 for the day. And here comes his teammate Mac on him. He gets out of the way, and J-Rod is going to be able to get him. No, not yet. Oh.
Yeah. Wow, what a cuddly mistake for One Wing. as we were saying, we were complimenting the racecraft of both drivers yet again for not going side by side into that corner. And the next corner, one wing goes off the track.
Oh, wow. It is amazing here, Rodrigo. We better stop talking about drivers today.
Yeah, we're not going to compliment you guys anymore. We're sorry about that. We'll let you be.
Well, now the question becomes, will Early Mac now inherit 5th place here? Will they work together? And I would assume after last round at Fuji, the teammates will work together as J-Rod and Death Scythe are working together. So it's going to be an interesting call between Rockefeller 5 and 6 and BDRT in 7th and 8th. These guys are going to come down to the wire here. But what that allowed was, as Francisco and Twilight going at it crazy here, Francisco really struggling in that Audi tonight. And Twilight on fresh softs here, so...
Yeah, for Francisco, yet again, the car is just not easy to drive at all, and when the tire wear kicks in, he's just incredibly... It just becomes that much harder to drive, and, you know, it's sad to see a little bit, because Francisco has shown he has the one-lap pace, but on the race, it's just so easy to make mistakes with his car. At Twilight, through the convert straight, just pulls alongside. He has more horsepower. He has the switching, so he's alongside, and he makes the move done way before the chase. That Francisco is just struggling so much on those medium tires.
Yeah, you know, I don't think it's a favorable track for Francisco, because we've seen Francisco have outstanding pace actually. So as he comes in, and that gives Twilight now.
Oh God! We said he was having outstanding pace, and he has spun it into the pit lane. So we've complimented him. We're sorry about that. That's it.
I've never seen anything like this, Rod. I've never seen anything like this. These guys are never going to want us to broadcast another race for them.
Exactly. They are all. We say a word about one driver, and they are all dying all over the place, out of the track. So, my goodness, I've only once in my life seen someone spin into the pit lane. Actually, it was on this very same game. It was Nico Rubio, the Chilean driver on the
on the World Tour. Yes, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, he went into hot and he spun it. So he's one of the best drivers in the world. So even the best get caught out from this. So we don't really blame Francisco from spinning into the pit lane. But yeah, now he's out on the soft tires, looking to have some more fun than he's been having, because it's been looking like a rough ride for him.
Yes, and as we mentioned before, even the best drivers in the world will struggle at this track. It's one of those tracks where you're either gonna walk away loving it, or you're gonna walk away wishing that you were still in your bed and you didn't wake up to drive here. It's just how it goes sometimes. So we said it at the beginning of the race, and now we get back to 4th and 5th place here as the Rockefeller drivers are putting pressure on each other, as Death Scythe is coming in behind, not too far behind with J-Rod. Rockefeller's guys are on softs. Death Scythe is now on the mediums, as J-Rod is finishing out his hard stint. So this is going to be interesting.
Early Mac pulls to the left and lifts off the throttle, and I think that's a good decision from Rockefeller. One wing has done the fastest lap, the previous lap. First person to break into the 202s this race, as he runs wide, so I shouldn't have said that. but and he's on, and right as they swapped positions, Early Mac is right back. That's unfortunate.
Wow, just wow. We'll see if he yields a position, if he has pace down the straight. But they got to be careful, because Death Scythe is creeping in behind after that catastrophic accident. So far, Death Scythe, you'd have to say, is the driver of the race right now. What a recovery drive for the ages.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Let's remember he was dead last at one point, so that's good driving. It's been 14 laps of recovery drive for him, so I think that's pretty strong from him, and hopefully I hope that he can keep it up for the show out here tonight in Bathurst.
Yeah, and one problem he's going to have is he's been pushing pretty hard, and that's got him into 6th place right now. But he does have a significant amount of less fuel even than One Wing, and One Wing, we know that Ford GT eats fuel. but he's got pretty much the same fuel as Mac, but that Scythe is a little bit worse for the wear on this situation here. So as all this is going on, and we got the Rockefeller drivers in a battle here, we have Magic Man, who has taken back first place, coming down Conrad Straight for the 15th time, and we have Little Mac, who's going to need to pit pretty much, you would think, this lap, because those tires are really, really bad.
Yeah, those tires are dead.
He is in a comfortable position in second place. Is not that comfortable, though, as Twilight has fresh tires and will run that tire out until his fuel is, you would figure, needs fuel. He'll be able to stretch those soft tires still. So, again, here we have Mac in fourth place and One Wing tucked in behind him.
Little Mac into the pit lane, a good decision. Those tires were dead, they were done, and now he's gonna have to run the hard tires. So I'll say Twilight has good shot getting in front of him.
Yeah,
he's gonna have to put on some fuel right now. So
let's see.
Twilight's gonna be way ahead of him.
Yeah, let's see how far Twilight comes out ahead of him here.
Very. Or no, not by much. He's sixth in the pit lane now. I'll say those are around 2 seconds, but very importantly, he's just about ahead of early Mac, because he puts on a new set of fresh stuff. So he's still not running the hard tires until very late into the.
Yeah, and you know what? We have early Mac behind them, so Mac and One Wing and Magic Man, you figure they're all going to pit on the same strategy here at the same lap time. But what that's doing here, Little Mac really needs to build the lead right now on those fresh softs and try and pull Twilight in as fast as possible. He does have fuel, and Twilight's going to have to pit, but this is putting Mac in a little Mac for red, white, and blue, in a little bit of a, I would say, a little bit of a vulnerable position here between Twilight and even early Mac and One Wing, barring any more mistakes out of anybody, which is very highly possible here. So Mac is going to have to run those hard, so we'll see when he chooses to do it, and it's going to be so vital. That's the thing, Rodrigo, as you know, the strategies are so vital here, not just at Bathurst, but in general with SFR, as we look at Magic Man, and he's going to run his tires until he's pretty much out of fuel. Or is he's going in now?
He's in. He doesn't want to nurse some other compound, so some worn out compound. So yeah, he's into the pit lane. Barely has any fuel, so he'll probably be looking to refuel now. I wonder if there will be a lead change now.
Yeah, he did ran the fastest lap of the race on lap 15.
Yeah, Twilight continues. He's looking pretty low on fuel, but I wonder if there will be a lead change at the moment. Maybe it'll be short-lived for Twilight, but he might still take the lead, but he doesn't.
Nope, so Magic Man has fuel, has fresh softs to the end, and he's got one more pit stop left. Twilight is going to definitely pit this lap, needing fuel, and he's done a pretty good job taking care of those tires. So Twilight, we have all Chevy from 3 different teams in first, second, and third right now.
Yeah,
this is going to be. I'm sorry, Rod. This is going to be interesting between Twilight and Little Mac, though, because Little Mac has fuel and he's on a fresh tire stint as Twilight. Ooh, as Mac hits the wall there, but Twilight is going to have to come in and get fuel. So we'll see how that fares out towards the end of the race, because don't forget, everybody, Little Mac has to run the racing hards, which is going to make him vulnerable to One Wing. And don't know, early Mac okay, so early Mac took fuel, so we missed that when he went in to take softs. He did take fuel till the end, so we'll see how that decision pans out. Normally, I'm not a fan of that, but sometimes it can prevail, because obviously you want to be as light as possible on your car, on your stints. But then again, you typically want to fuel for just your stint, but then again, you don't have to worry about fuel to the end. So we'll see how that plays out as he closes in on Francisco here, who's on the softs. I don't believe Francisco took the hards yet. He's probably dreading having to do that. But getting back here, we're going to see Twilight enter the pits here as Little Mac closes in on him.
Yeah, Twilight is empty on his tank as he's pulling to the left and going to the pits. And I was gonna say before, I think it's incredibly nice that the top three, yes, they might be on the same manufacturer. That doesn't mean that this car is superior on this track necessarily. But I'd like to see that they are all on different teams. It's incredibly nice to see all these teams are a force to be reckoned with on this championship, and they are probably... I don't know how the championship standings are at the moment, but they're probably pretty tight together, I can assure that.
Yeah, it's very tight. It's very tight. We have... I can get you an update on that, and we'll take a look at Twilight, who does return in third here, so good job from him. So with the team standings, how they stand here, we have, this is before this race, obviously. So we have Rockefeller in first with 200 points, Black Dragon Racing with 194, TPRT with 178, and RWB Racing with 102. But now keep in mind, RWB has 2-3 full-time drivers in it now, so they're bound to jump and make some ground up. So everything is really tight between all the teams here, very tight.
Yeah, from like the top two teams just in 6 points, you know. You see that it's pretty close between them, so that's gonna be interesting. We'll see how it plays out.
And Magic Man, I'm going to say he has about a 4 to 5 second lead at the moment right now, and that's without Mac running the hards here yet. So Little Mac is running best laps here, but he's still got a ways to go. Let's take a ride. Let's take a ride on board with Magic Man through Bathurst here as he enters the last turn.
Here we go. Start of the lap, coming into turn 1, a corner name which I don't really remember, so I apologize for that. Brake on the right before the 50-meter board. Oh, it's called Hell Corner.
Hell's Corner, right? Yes, yes.
Okay. Now through the mountain straight, and into turn 2 into quarry, go uphill a little bit, go flat out up into 6th gear just now. 240 kph if you use my per hour. I'm sorry, I don't know those that unit. As we go 3rd gear, 140 kph with quarry, full throttle now, up the hill into the cutting corner. Here we go. Just about use all the track till the white line on the right and cutting there. Now through Griffin's Mount, turn 5 and 6. Here we go. This could be flat out. No, not really. He plays it safe. As for right park, pretty high speed corner, 5th gear, a bit of a lift, and ooh, really close to the wall right there. As we go through Selman and then down the hill through Skyline into the SS. And here we go. It's purple, 1.5 tenths purple at the moment. Here we go. Takes the left, a pretty fall, like a big fall through there on height. I think that's how you say it. As we go, turn it into the deeper and flat out now until the chase. Probably the fastest part of the track. You're gonna have to take the next chicane flat out, dive to the right, and then instantly on the brakes through the 21st corner of the race. Here we go. 2 tenths purple, so he's on a great lap at the moment. Here we go. 280 kph. Brake on the 100-meter board. Incredibly late here. 3rd gear, I think it's gonna be. Yeah, he uses the torque of that Corvette to his. As we go through the final corner, more race corner, go down to 2nd gear on the 50-meter board. Go to this 90-degree corner, and that was a spectacular lap of battle from our race leader, I must say.
Fastest lap of the race.
Half a second faster than his fastest lap.
Great lap, great view of the track, great description by Rodrigo. And as that all happened, he built his lead up even more over Little Mac here. So Magic Man is really on another level today here. But we do have a huge gap right now between Little Mac in 2nd and Twilight in 3rd. So Twilight's sitting pretty for a podium, but we do have early Mac from Rockefeller, and one wing from Rockefeller. So Twilight is not out of the woods yet. And then we have Death Scythe as well, who looks like he's filled to the end now. And J-Rod is coming around as he will jump Francisco in the pits. So will Cannoli get there as Francisco's filling up? No, he will not, as now we have Francisco on the hard. So knocking on wood for you, Francisco, in that Audi here.
Good luck with those tires. They have a very low grip, and the Audi R8 is gonna be incredibly hard to drive. But yeah, he does look like he has a fuel till the end, so that's decent for him. He might still hold on for a top 10, even though he's dropped a lot of positions in the start of the race. But still, it's a matter now of trying to keep it on the track and trying to get till the end, because he's still looking for a P8 or a P9, so hopefully he can pull that one off.
Yeah, and again, I need to give a special shout out to Joey Cannoli. The guy has had some really bad luck with disconnects, and then it's part of esports. It happens. Last race he had a wheel lock up at Fuji after qualifying really well. He qualified 5th today, I believe, and he had a disastrous down the mountain in this section right here on lap 1, and he's fought him back into a solid 9th place, and it's not over yet because he probably is going to close in and catch Francisco, who's on the hards. So I really like to shout out Joey Cannoli. He needs to catch a break, and I'm sure that break is coming sooner than later, because the guy has showed really great pace, as we have MDez as well from TPRT waiting for his teammate Ali GP to get back into the mix to help TPRT out. And TPRT, I do really like their liveries. They look really good. I like everybody's liveries here. As Anubis and the Viper is in 11th place now, and Inferno in 12th place, and Big Red going sideways through McPhillamy and having to recollect him. So as soon as we put the camera on Big Red, you did a 360 for us. And again, this is why we have drop rounds in SFR, because of the fact that sometimes you can't make a race, sometimes it's just not your race, and the Magic Man is actually coming up on Big Red to lap him right now. So it's been one of those days for a few of the drivers here, as I'm sure that Big Red will adhere to the blue flags and get out of the way. But yeah, Rodrigo, it's just one of those days.
Yeah, it is not having a good race at all, but shout out to Joey Cannoli, back with him again, as he's just passed Francisco, so that's good. And shout out to Big two. These two right now for me are the very definition of never giving up, because Cannoli has had so much bad luck getting disconnected or making mistakes, or getting his wheel all messed up through the race. But he's still here, he's still fighting for it, even after going off to dead last on lap 1. He's now back to P8, so that's a nice drive. And then Big Red, who's just now coming to the pits, he might not be having a good day. He might just have been lapped, and he might think, well, anyone might think, well, let's call it a day here, we're so far behind. But no, he's still out there. He's still collecting some experience, and he's still gonna go out there and finish the race. So pretty good from him. I must praise him on that.
Yes, exactly. And like we said, it's one of those tracks that can nip you in the butt, and you just feel like it's just not your day, and it's so hard not to give up. But that's what we preach: never give up, always stay strong. And these drivers are doing just that. So big shout out to them. I am interested here, though, Rodrigo, as we get back into this here, as Little Mac is in 2nd place now. We know Magic Man is really pretty much, unless we commentate and curse him again, which we don't want to do, he is pretty much going to flat out win this race, because his compounds are done. As long as he doesn't have any major mistakes, he can take it easy. Just work on his lines, work on his, management of his tires, and it'll be another successful day for Magic Man, as that'll be back-to-back wins. However, we have 2nd place, third place, fourth place, and fifth place up for grabs. As we look at this battle right here between One Wing and his teammate Early Mac, they've been pretty, pretty consistent all race. One Wing did have an off or two here or there, but they've been following team orders. They haven't been too aggressive with each other, and they are closing in on Twilight here. And let's just see where Death Scythe is. Death Scythe is not too far back, and J-Rod either. So it could still be anybody's game here between the podium positions here. I think the other positions are pretty much set in stone, but we have a battle for the podium here between Little Mac, Twilight, Early Mac, and One Wing. And you could even throw Death Scythe in there. As I say that on cue, both Rockefeller drivers. Oh, one Rockefeller driver in, one not. So we'll see.
Yeah, Early Mac has a lot of fuel right now, so he's looking good. I think it'll just be a change of tires at the moment, and I think he'll go to the soft tires again because yeah, he's gone to the softs, I think, because he's already used his other tires. So quick stop, and he has the newer tires right now. He has a lot more fuel than Twilight, who's looking pretty short on fuel. So he's getting a good undercut now, and I think that all these positions, from third to fourth to fifth, are still up for grabs. So this could get quite testy towards the end.
Yeah, and I think that was a really smart move by Early Mac, because he went for the undercut on his teammates here. And if you look at that pit delta, as we mentioned, for just tires, it's really fast. So, One Wing is flying right now, and he's going to need fuel where Mac is not going to need fuel. And One Wing is going to have to come in this lap, and I would assume Twilight will as well. So Twilight is going to beat out One Wing because of the fact that One Wing is going to need fuel. And then Early Mac from Rockefeller, his teammate is going to jump him, I would assume. So it's going to be a battle down to positioning and who could do what on the mountain and hold their positions. As you can see, Little Mac in second place right now is going to have to make another stop. Will it be this stop? Because he has just a little bit more fuel than Twilight here. Let's see what Little Mac does here. Will he enter now? Magic Man is in.
I think so. He's got quite worn tires.
Oh, the last minute? That could have been almost a pit violation, but he makes his mind up at the last minute as he enters. And he's going to need to fill up to the end. He's not going to need too much fuel. What does Twilight do? Twilight continued on, did he? No, Twilight is in. Okay, Twilight's in. Magic Man out. Fresh softs. Twilight is in right now.
Little Mac is also out on the hard tires, so he's not going to be fast out there at the moment. And Early Mac, I think he's going to come out in third, so this is incredible for the... Yeah, he's just about got the undercut done, I think. He's jumped Twilight, yes, he's jumped Twilight. Now he's got the whole race, well, not the whole race, the last 5 or so laps to chase down Little Mac as he goes purple, so he's making the most out of it. And yeah, right now, Early Mac on the softs versus Little Mac on the hard. So if he can just push as hard as he can, it's around a 10 seconds gap at the moment, so it'll be 2 seconds per lap. But if he can just push hard and get the last 5 laps of his life, he might be able to get something done on Little Mac up here.
Yeah, and Early Mac is looking for his first ever podium, but either way, this has been a great race for Early Mac, one way or the other. However, it turns out he can't sleep, though, because he has Twilight on his bumper, who's a really fast driver, as Mac is purpling through these sectors here, challenging Magic Man's lap.
So he's even at the moment getting a better lap than his teammate, and I thought that lap by Magic Man was quite good, quite flawless, but Early Mac getting it done at the moment, so nothing but praise for him. He's looking really good for his first podium.
Yeah, clearly Early Mac from Rockefeller loves Bathurst, so I do know that personally. He does love this track, but we still have 4.5 laps left, Rodrigo, and let's see here. Little Mac is closing in on Big Red. Big Red will have to get out of the way again, which is fine as Little Mac gets a little shaky on those hards, but manages to pull it up.
Yeah, clip the grass a little bit there, but yeah, I don't think that Big Red is going to be a annoying way. He usually gets out of the way quite soon for the drivers behind, which is good.
Oh yeah, he shows great sportsmanship for the entirety of any race. Big Red is probably one of the classiest drivers on the track. It's a great signing by BDRT, and we know he'll be back for some more top finishes, I'm sure. As we say this, go ahead. I'm sorry. Yes, Early Mac here.
Yeah, no, fine. Early Mac finished his lap. It was an 03.0, and well, it was 7 times slower than his teammate's fastest lap, so he must have made a mistake around there, but it's still an incredibly fast lap time, and I think he's gaining a little bit at the moment on Little Mac, so I'm quite excited to see these two battling it out at the end. I think that it's going to be a stretch for Early Mac to catch him, but yeah, I think that will be quite exciting towards the end.
Yeah, and Twilight is not far behind here. Let's take a ride on board with Twilight, see how he handles part of the mountain here, and just how that slipstream can work. You have to be within, I believe it's 7/10, Rodrigo?
Yeah, it is indeed 7/10 on this game to get the slipstream. So at the moment he's not getting a slipstream, but if he can just chip away one or maybe half a second more, he might be able to get into the slipstream of Early Mac and maybe ride a challenge towards the end of the race to try and overtake the Arrow driver.
Yeah, and we got some pretty consistent laps here from Twilight. As you can see, Little Mac in the distance in front of Early Mac from Twilight's view here. And there they are. So they're all within some range here with each other. This is going to be interesting to see what Early Mac can do against the other Mac, Little Mac here, as he's closing in.
Yeah, he's gained nearly 4 seconds that lap, as Little Mac has done an 06.7 and Early Mac has done an 03.0, so these two behind just looking ever so stronger for even a second place finish. I think all these drivers are just gonna come together towards the end of the race, and yeah, only 3 laps to go. They are all running out of laps.
And that's the thing with Bathurst, is when you elect to go hards at the end, it hurts you, because if you are in a position like Little Mac is, where you have some clean air, you know, the other drivers were in traffic on their hard tires, so it really comes down to a strategy call, and it looks like Early Mac sacrificed his positionings, because don't forget he started in 4th place as Twilight got into the wall a little bit. Oh, McPhillamy. Okay, he held on to it there. That was just some latency. That was some latency.
Yeah, that's a bit of
But I was saying, Rodrigo, it's just so crucial to hold on to your strategies and figure out what you're going to do on the fly, because Early Mac sacrificed his positioning early on, but it's paying off now. As you can see, Little Mac is struggling to hold on to this lead between Twilight and Early Mac here, as that lead is just dwindling down ever so slightly every lap.
Yes, Big Red. There's a situation here, and Little Mac, you know, he's in the lead lap and he has the preference, but he doesn't have that much better pace than Big Red, because Big Red is on the soft, so he hasn't been able to be so close to him for Big Red to yield the position. So that's interesting. We have 4 cars on the same TV shot right now, even if one of those isn't on the lead lap. So
yeah, and
an exciting finish.
Yes, as we're on the penultimate lap, and Big Red has every right to be there. You know, and it's within, if you're getting pressured by the car that's on the lead laps, you must yield within 3 corners. However, a track like Bathurst is not a track where you're just going to pull over to the side of Skyline and say, go ahead, pass me by. So on the penultimate lap here, we have a very interesting race going on, as that did see Big Red actually get into the wall a little bit, which leaves Little Mac. But look at this. Look at how close Early Mac is now.
Yeah, this is a bit of a situation here now. Now Big Red is indeed holding up Little Mac a bit, but there's no place for Big Red to get out of the way through this section, as it's incredibly tough. Like, this is just a single file section, so now he's been hindered by the dirty air a little bit, and now Early Mac is right behind him, and all these cars are together as Big Red will yield that position. Will he hold up Early Mac? No, he doesn't. He gets out of the way.
What a good job.
Yeah, he's let everyone by.
And his teammate too.
Yeah. He allows Twilight to get the run. Here comes Twilight.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Banging, but what an exit for Twilight. He just slingshot it out of the elbow and just got an incredible exit. Didn't even take a bit of slipstream. It was just the pure acceleration of the Corvette out there.
And you know what? As they were yielding to Big Red, that's exactly what happened. Is Twilight was the one that made out best from that, and that actually might have just saved Little Mac here. We shall see.
I don't think so. As these two cars behind are still on the softer compound, and yeah, I think they can definitely get to Little Mac still. Just one lap to go. They've already run their laps out. They've run out of laps. There's no more pushing to do. They just gonna attack and go for second place up here.
And here we go. So this is it, ladies and gentlemen. As Little Mac tries to break the slipstream.
Yep,
this is a battle between second through fifth, as One Wing has tagged onto the back of that now, just out of sight from Early Mac, I'm sorry.
Yep, here we go up the hill through the cutting, turn 3 and 4. And Little Mac makes a bit of a mistake, and now 12 ever so closer to him, and he's gonna be a bit hindered by the dirty air through this uphill section through Wright Park, Frog Hollow, and Thelman Park. To then head down into the SS, but will he try down the inside? No, he doesn't, but Little Mac just parking it out. Oh no, Early Mac has gone into the gravel and has lost all chances of a podium position.
Oh.
But now Twilight is still attacking Little Mac, as Little Mac makes a bit of a mistake, and now Twilight has the whole straight line to him, the whole Conrad straight, down through the deeper and through Forest Elbow, as they make a bit of contact, not intentional by Little Mac, just had a pretty bad exit, but now he's gonna have the toe, he's gonna have the slipstream, and at such a high speed, it's gonna be such a gain for Twilight. He's gonna have to make it under braking. Here we go, gaining through, and now we go for turn 20, for the chase, yields off the throttle a little bit, goes to the Little Mac the grass as he goes defensive, and he has the save of the century. But he's not. Oh, a little bit of door banging.
Pushing him off there as Magic Man takes home first place. A little bit.
One Wing down the inside. One Wing gets it on the final corner. There was a little bit of contact, but still, One Wing sent the dive bomb and make the move to the final corner from Murray's corner. And I don't know if there was a bit of contact there. No idea. We'll have to take a look later on. But
that's safe home in 6. What a finish, guys! What a finish, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, that got very exciting. But while all of this was happening, Magic Man takes the win by a large margin. So congratulations to him. He's been absolutely faultless today and drove home a brilliant race. So brilliant we didn't even notice him in the end. He was not even in the.
Yeah, Joey Canoli hanging tough in 8th place. Francisco in 9th. Mdez will take home 10th. Anubis will be 11th, and Big Red will be 12th. But I gotta tell you, Magic Man, he finished, I believe it's 27 seconds ahead. So he had the drive of his life here at Bathurst. But, ladies and gentlemen, that finish between Little Mac, Twilight, Early Mac, and One Wing was something for the ages. That's going to probably be definitely something that the stewards are going to have to look at there, because there was a bit of a questionable block on Little Mac's part towards the end there. I don't know if you would agree with that, Rodrigo, or not, but
Yeah, a little bit of door banging there indeed.
at
So
that, and then One Wing took advantage of the opportunity given, but the biggest loser out of everybody here is Early Mac, who had the drive of his life and really deserved that podium, as he was battling with One Wing. I'm sorry, battling with Twilight that whole time. So yeah, wow, I tell you, I think that that's a really close finish here, and that was a heck of a race. I got to tell you, Rodrigo.
yep, it was indeed. And yes, you were talking about early Mac. I must say, big praise to him because man, I've never seen him like in the fighting for a top five and actually with a chance for the podium. So he's definitely improving out there, and he was out here today to prove himself. And we've been a brilliant drive for him. It didn't work out for him in the end. You know, it happens that drivers make mistakes under pressure while battling for top positions, but still, no one can take away from his amazing drive. And looks like provisionally, before we get an Stewart's report out there, but provisionally he has finished in 5th place and maybe probably for 4th even.
Yeah, so again, great battles throughout the whole race. Magic Man put on a great show, was the beneficiary of getting out to an early lead, staying away from any contact, and to his credit, made no mistakes, almost picture perfect. Couldn't ask for more than that. But I'd like to tip my cap to, as we said, Death Scythe, who took home from BDRT a 6th place finish, actually wound up beating his teammate out, J-Rod, which is interesting to say the least, because Death Scythe came from last place after that accident, and so did Joey Cannoli. And Joey Cannoli finished in 8th ahead of his teammate Francisco, who had his own issues here. So Bathurst did eat up a lot of drivers, but you know what? They also prevailed and really came back and made some really great drives themselves, Rodrigo. So that was really good to see.
That was incredibly fun to watch indeed. So many drivers getting caught out there, which was well, sometimes you see incidents and the car spinning around, which is well, for the spectator it's fun, for the driver not so much. But yeah, that was an incredible race. Big praise to all the drivers for surviving 28 laps of this racetrack, and this has to be, with that finish and all this action and all these drivers going off. I know we say this a lot, but this must have been one of the best races, if not the best yet.
No, this definitely was. This might have taken the cake, honestly, because what a great finish, what great battles. All the crashes and recoveries and spins and on the edge of that fine line where we call finding the limit, as that's something that Mac tried to do through McPhillamy. He was on the limit, and that curbing can call you out ever so slightly right before the downhill, and that cost him the podium, I believe, because I do believe he would have got Little Mac. But as we said, before the Stewart reports are finalized, provisionally, Magic Man first, Little Mac hanging on to 2nd place on the racing hards to the end. One Wing coming in with a steal at the end, taking 3rd place. Twilight in 4th, and then we have Early Mac from Rockefeller in 5th. So the top 2 teams, although Little Mac did put a monkey wrench into that, and it'll be good points if they hang on either way for RWB to make an impact here in the team standings, but that will give Rockefeller and BDRT some extra points as well, and you can certainly guarantee that the Drivers' Championship is going to change now, as we had One Wing leading it coming into this J-Rod and Twilight along with Magic Man. So things are certainly going to be shaken up, Rodrigo, and we'll have to find out, which will be posted soon on our Discord, and of course we'll let you know what that is when we come back to Red Bull Ring on September 20th. The GTC2 and GTC3 divisions will take place. So before we get out of here, just want to wish everybody a healthy and happy holiday for Labor Day weekend here. Stay safe. We'll be back for GTC1 on September 13th. Josh from Demo 1 Garage will be doing the live stream, of course, as always, which we have some great battles going on in all of the divisions. GTC2 is really tight as well. That will return on September 20th. And GTC3 also on September 20th, which we will stream on Friday, as always, at about 5 p.m. Eastern. So thank you all for watching and tuning in, and all the drivers out there that participate in the SFR GT Challenge. Once again, please follow us on Facebook at SFR GT Challenge. You can follow all the teams on Facebook as well. Our Discord is in the description there. And for Catch, for Rodrigo, any last words, Rodrigo, before we get out of here?
Yep, thanks for everyone who tuned into the stream. And if you didn't, and if you're just catching up with us right now, I'll say that you rewatch this race, because it was brilliant to see. And these drivers, even though it's the third division, you'll think that they are the slower drivers of the league or whatever, but they're not. They really aren't, because the top 5 of this division can definitely take the fight to some of the guys on GTC2. And I think that every race has been, as I got to know every single driver, and see their driving style and stuff, it's getting more entertaining to watch all the time. So this was a great race, and I recommend that if you have time, you go back, and if you haven't watched it, you watch it.
Yeah, absolutely. And getting back to what you were saying about pace-wise between the divisions, it's so tight that GTC2 compared to GTC1, the fastest laps of the race were very comparable, although you can't always go by that because there's many factors that play into that, but it's a very tight league throughout. So it's very entertaining, and it is very close between the top division and the third division. So, like you said, everybody is battling and running really great races, and those some unfortunate ones have stuck it out, which we love to see. Like we said, Joey Canoli, Big Red a spin, Death Scythe a spin. I mean, great competition, great competitors, great sportsmanship, and those guys are all going to be in the fight for the end and the championship. So it's great to see. So again, I can't wait. If we could keep topping what we've been topping, I can't wait to see what happens at Red Bull Ring.
Yeah, yep, a pretty high-speed track and pretty slow corners, but I think that, I don't know if it can be better than this race. It was amazing, but it will be pretty entertaining. It will not disappoint, I can assure you.
Yes. So, again, everybody, thanks so much for tuning in. Have a safe and happy Labor Day weekend for us gents that celebrate that in the States, and whoever else does celebrate that. Don't drink too much. Be safe out there. And for Rodrigo and Catch, we will see you in the next stream. Thanks, everybody.